Hi everyone, so today I'm here to do my movie review of Divergent. Now, this review will have spoilers because it's the movie review and I can't really talk about the movie without spoiling things, so you've been warned. If you haven't read the book, then please don't watch this review if you really want to read it. So, last Wednesday I went to see Divergent with one of my friends who I met at uni, and to be honest, before I went to see it, I wasn't particularly excited about the movie. I'd seen all the trailers, I'd seen a few clips, and I was kind of just feeling average about it. I wasn't excited. I didn't hate the look of it, but it wasn't making me dying to see it and jumping around like mad like most other books and movie adaptations have. But I will say that when I came out after seeing Divergent, I was really happy with the way they did it because it was a fantastic adaptation, and I wish I'd been more excited seeing the trailers because it was such a great movie. Okay, so first of all I'm going to talk about the characters and the actors playing them. So first of all we have Triss, or Beatrice Pryor, who is played by Shailene Woodley. Now, I actually think Shailene was a perfect Triss. I did have my doubts about her. I will put my hands up and say I did, because during the trailers I wasn't too enamoured by her, but in the first 5 minutes she completely won me over because she was absolutely fantastic as Triss. She managed to portray Triss's brave side, her selfless side, and everything that makes Triss Triss. She looked like the way I thought Triss would be, and she acted like the way I thought Triss would as well, so Shailene was a perfect choice for Triss. Moving on to Four, who is played by Theo James. I also had my doubts about Theo as Four. In the trailers and the clips he just didn't seem like Four, but in the movie when it first started, I think it was because we were just getting like wee tiny clips of Four, not really getting the whole picture. I was completely won over in the movie by Theo James, and it wasn't that he just looked like Four, he embodied everything about Four. He came across as a complete jerk when he had to, and he was also such a sweetheart and such a lovely character. The one thing I will say that bugged me about Theo James was I felt his face was kind of slightly emotionless sometimes. I don't know if this is just me or if I'm just being extremely picky, but I did feel like sometimes when he was like happy or angry, he kind of had the same expression, but that might just be because he's not a very well known actor and he's just starting his big career, so maybe he'll improve on that in the next movie. And then we have Eric, who is played by Jai Courtney. Holy hell, did Jai Courtney do a fantastic job playing Eric. How much of a dick was Eric in the movie, and how much did you just want to punch him? That shows me how much of a great actor Jai Courtney is, because I hated Eric in the movie. I absolutely hated him, and Jai Courtney did an amazing job at portraying how evil and horrible Eric really is. Then we have Janine Matthews, who was played by Kate Winslet, and I thought Kate Winslet did a fantastic job as well. She was cold, calculative, manipulative, and just exactly the way I imagined her. I thought Kate Winslet did a fantastic job. And then we have Peter Hayes, who is played by Miles Teller, and I love Miles Teller, right? And he really made me want to punch Peter in the face repeatedly because he's such a horrible character, and Miles played him amazingly. I hated Peter more in the movie than I did in the book. He came across as an asshole and a dick, and exactly the way Peter should have been came across, and it was amazing, and I love Miles Teller. He's such a fantastic actor. And lastly I'm going to talk about Christina, who is played by Zoe Kravitz. I think she was a perfect choice for Christina. She looked exactly like the way I imagined her in the books, and she came across the same way. She was jokey, she was funny, she was such a great friend to Triss, and I absolutely adored her. So character and actor wise, the movie was brilliant. Now on to the plot. I actually think the film followed the book pretty closely. I mean, sure, there were things left out, but it's a book to movie adaptation. There are always things left out, and to be honest, there were some things that I'm glad they left out, because seeing Peter stab out someone's eye is not really something I want to see on screen. The first thing I loved seeing was all the different factions when we started and we saw Chicago, and we saw Amity, Candor, Erudite, Abnegation and Dauntless with all their different clothes, and you could tell who's from which section because of the colours and the types of clothes they were wearing, and I thought it was fantastic getting to see that. I also really loved the tests that they were put through to find out what faction they would choose. I loved the simulations, I thought they were amazing. The choosing ceremony was exactly the way as I had imagined it, and I thought it was amazing. It also did have me tearing up with the fact that Caleb and Triss kind of left Abnegation, and yeah, it was slightly sad. I adored seeing the Dauntless initiation ceremony because seeing them having to jump onto the trains and jump off the trains and the bit where Triss jumps off the building into that big black pit without knowing what the hell is down there was just, oh, it actually made me smile so much because I thought it was done perfectly. The chasm scene, I don't really know the real name for it because I've totally forgotten, but the bit where Al and Peter and whoever else attacked Triss was kind of heartbreaking because I knew what was coming next because I'd read the book, and I was kind of waiting for that bit because I really didn't want to see it. But the chasm scene was done perfectly. The fighting was amazing. Al's death was actually really heartbreaking, and they showed you everything. I mean, Al had a bashed in head and they showed you it, and it was pretty gruesome, but it was definitely needed, and I'm glad they kept it in. The other thing I really loved was getting to see Triss and Four going into Four's fear landscape. Seeing Four's four fears was really good, but the bit with Marcus when Triss found out who he really was kind of heartbreaking as well, because then she starts to realise that what everyone's been saying about Marcus was true, and Four went through all that and then had to leave his family and leave all his friends behind because of what Marcus was doing, and it was really sad, but it was a great bonding moment for those two. And then the bit where Four asked Triss if she wants to see his tattoo, I was like, yes please Theo James, take your top off now. I've been waiting for this, so just take the damn top off and then kiss and then everything will be perfect. And it was, because Triss and Four are one of my favourite couples. And I'm just having Allegiant feels right now because I love those two so much, and that book was just a killer, and every time I think about Divergent now I just think about Allegiant, so yeah. But I love Triss and Four. The zip wire scene where Triss goes down on it was done amazingly. I mean, the scenery when she was going down that zip wire was superb. It was absolutely beautiful, and it was terrifying actually, because she was going towards all these buildings and stuff that she was going to fly right into, and God, I was actually really terrified for her, even though I knew everything was going to be okay, but I was absolutely terrified for her. Also, I've totally forgotten about Capture the Flag. Capture the Flag was, oh my god, I can't even describe how awesome that scene was. They had these like stun guns where they like shot people, and it was like you got the feeling of being shot, and seeing Four shoot Eric twice just made me cheer, and I wanted to jump out of my seat and dance around because it was brilliant. But yeah, I adored everything about Capture the Flag. The ending kind of stuck pretty close to the book as well, with everyone getting the serum and then waking up in the middle of the night, and the people who were Divergent were kind of like playing along and being like, what the hell's going on? And then you saw what actually happened to a Divergent who didn't have the brains to pretend that he was part of this, and it was kind of horrible because then you knew what would happen to Triss if they found out she was Divergent. The fighting was amazing in this book. I cannot fault it because it had me on the edge of my seat, and I thought it was amazingly done. The bits at the end with Will almost had me in tears. Triss's mum almost had me in tears. Triss's dad almost had me in tears. This whole end of the movie almost had me in tears because it was just so emotional. And then it ends with the train ride with Caleb, Marcus, Triss, Four and Peter all heading out towards the wall because they know there's going to be a lot of trouble and they need to rally and try to fight. So yeah, I really loved the whole story of Divergent, the way it was told. I thought it was such an amazing book to movie adaptation. Honestly, it's probably my second favourite now after Catching Fire, because Catching Fire was just amazing, and yeah, but Divergent is probably my second favourite now because I just really loved it, and I really want to go back and see it again because now I don't know, I really want to see it again, so I probably will go and see it again at some point. The one thing I will say that I was extremely upset about the movie, it wasn't something that was left out, it was a person that was left out, and even though I knew this person wasn't going to be in the movie, it still really upset me when I saw said person's name on the board, and that person is Uriah, because I freaking love Uriah. Uriah is one of my favourite characters in that whole series, and having him being left out just killed me because I love him. I thought he's such a fantastic character, and the fact that they left him out because he wants to give him a bigger story in the second movie just seems like a load of shit to me. Why couldn't he have been introduced in the first movie? Why? There is no reason why he couldn't have been introduced in the first movie. There were tons of scenes that Uriah should have been in, and I was going, Uriah should be in this scene, he should be in this scene, he should be in this one, and I don't understand why they left him out. They could have just put him in, and they should have put him in, because Uriah is the best. So there we go, that was my movie review for Divergent. I was super pleased with how it turned out, and now I'm even more excited to see Insurgent. Let me know in the comments if you guys have seen Divergent and what you thought about the movie. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and I'll see you guys later. Bye everyone.